still playing all the time. It never missed a note. It kept playing that sick dream. His mind was not hazy as it focused on what's coming from the radio. He's playing on the radio. He's playing on the radio.
Good afternoon, and welcome to episode 26 of Live from the NSYNC Asylum. I'm your host, Paul Kitchen, and in my most recent podcast, I promised to not take as long to do another one, and despite my normal inclinations, here I am. The process I usually have for doing a podcast is the first thing I do is figure out what songs I'm going to play, and I have done that, and then I basically ramble. I look at my screen and I see the songs, and I also have on my screen, information about the album or whatever that track is from, and I ramble. So basically that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ramble a little bit and start the show off today with something from Trip Note Volume 1. And this is a song called Reflect. And Trip Note was 40 years of my music, 1978 to 2018. And this song is about as old as it gets as far as when it was written, 1978. I did not share the original recording, or I have a couple of them from way back when. But I did play with the song and re-record it around 2000. And it was something I was trying to work on for, I guess, what became A Matter of Time, the album. And anyway, this is Reflect that I re-recorded in around 2000. Check it out.
Reflecting drives you crazy. Stuck on the same block again. Crawling hole easy with your store-bought song. I watched you grow old. I watched you grow old. And out of the jumble, a piece of your past, some hard thrills to mine, but don't try to match 'em. Don't try to match 'em. See the web shine. It's a shame we can't fly as I hang from my vine. Out of a hole in my sky, I feel reflective in a race, holding on to a days that I've been in. And that I've been in. slightly out of phase, slightly out of phase. Man-made stands dim in her rays, as nature reflects light always, back where it came, back where it came. Where did it go? I don't know. Where did it go? Do 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 do
And we're back. That was Reflect from Trip Note, Volume 1, 1978 to 2018. And I wrote that song in 1978, and that was a demo I recorded around 2000 that I remixed and put on Trip Note. Next up, I'm going to play a track off of Pot Shots from Over the Hill, which came out December of 2020, and this song is called Keeper of the Wishing Well. And I may have shared the original recording of that from the 1985 collection of songs called Inner Dialogues, and that's when the song was written. But on Pot Shots, basically I pulled the 8-track recordings in from my Tascam 38 and tweaked them a little bit and either added some stuff or changed the drums or added a key part or whatever. But I kept most of the original recording, particularly on this one, all the guitars and stuff. I think I added one guitar, a rhythm guitar, and there's spots on here, and maybe some keys, I'm not sure. But then the rhythm, the drum track was changed a little bit. But anyway, this is Keeper of the Wishing Well from Pot Shots from Over the Hill. Check it out.
I come today to take my chances. Keeper of the wishing well, I wish to rid my life of these sudden changes. Keeper of the wishing well. This morning my life on. Keeper of the wishing well, I've always lived this way. Could it be wrong? Keeper of the wishing well, my life has always come second to a song. Keeper of the wishing well.
Keeper of the Wishing Well from the 2020 album Pot Shots from Over the Hill. The majority of that track was recorded in 1985, the year that I wrote the song, and I updated some parts on there. If you have not checked that album out, please do. I think it's one of my better albums, and it has a lot of songs that I updated for their first release. For the most part, they were not available anywhere else, so check that out. But first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you for listening to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers 13 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info and visit paulkitchen.com for more music. Next up, I want to play a song off my new album, which just came out at the end of February, and it was called Black and Gray, and this is the lead-off track. It was also the title track from the 1993 album, And We Dream. And for all these songs, when I wanted to use a backing track, I went back and tried to find something that I could reuse, and this one was from that particular album. Was when I was starting to use time code. And for the longest time, I didn't know what to do with those songs. Most of them were recorded, I think, in Logic Audio Platinum on the PC. And I couldn't figure out how to bring them into the present. And I use Cubase Pro now. And I finally figured out how to do it. I still have a version of Logic Audio that will start on my PC, but I don't use it for music, and I don't think it communicates with my current hardware or anything like that. But what I do is I clean the track up by merging MIDI parts and audio parts and deleting stuff that doesn't need to be there, and then I export it as an OMF and also export it as a MIDI file. And I also take a picture of it, an image, a screen capture of the screen, so I know what the tempo was originally. And then I can go into Cubase and bring that OMF track in get the tempo right, and then bring in the MIDI tracks. And usually it all joins together happily. It's not always that easy, but for this, I was able to bring in the original backing track for And We Dream. I blew out the original, the intro that's on that album, and just went with the song And We Dream. Check it out. There was always water to
to throw a fire on that brings me down the trail into the flats at dawn. To whisper to the shadow, I bring my secrets here. I take the blame, for there is no shame. Amidst the hope and fear, we lie down by a stream. We make love and we dream. When you teach a snake to bite, you do more than lick those wounds and pray the blood and poison flow, staring up at the silver moon. Listen, hear the wind, it sings, beware, beware of the simple things. Make time for the little things. We lie down by a stream. We make love and we dream. We lie down by a stream. We make love and we dream. And we dream. And we dream. We lie down.
We're back, and that was And We Dream, the lead-off track from the new album Black and Gray, which is available everywhere and on Bandcamp. And it's live from the NSYNC Asylum Volume 2, where I basically revisit some of my older tracks and bring in some of the backing tracks, if I can, from older tracks and update them and then perform live vocals and guitar over them. Next up, this is a track. This was the first track I actually recorded for what became Black and Gray, live from the NSYNC Asylum Volume 2, and it's Sign of the Times. And when I did this, I thought, well, maybe the album is going to be an acoustic album for the most part. And I didn't have my normal, my Taylor with me, so I I got a secondhand, supposedly defective Yamaha FG 830 from the Amazon warehouse and used that. Now, it was just an acoustic. It didn't have any electronics on it, so I had to mic it. They weren't the greatest recordings, but they got the vibe I was looking for. And this is a sign of the times, not on black and gray, but check it out.
There's a brook outside my window, seems to run so peacefully. But if you look, you see the turbulence. If you drink, you taste disease. Out of control, the body language, failing to cover up the face. Under the skin, the spots are changing. The path of a snake will win this race. I can't read the sign of the time. There's too much going on between the lines. I can't see where I'm going. Don't wanna try. It's a sign of the times. Don't wanna try. It's a sign of the times. You're like a magnet to deception, more like a dog attracting fleas. You scratch an itch and leave a trail of lies. Still you think you're fooling me. So you took some things for granted, and you stepped upon some toes. But when you chase the truth, you get dirty. How you keep coming up smelling like a rose when I can't read the sign of the times. There's too much going on between the lines. I can't see where I'm going. Help me see where I'm going. Help me see where I'm going. I can't read, and it's a sign of the time. Help Help me see where I'm going. Help me see where I'm going. I can't read, and it's a sign of the time. I can't see where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going.
And that was Sign of the Times, a track I left off of Black and Gray. But you can watch the video up on my YouTube channel, as you can all the recordings from Black and Gray. But first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you for listening to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers 13 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info and visit paulkitchen.com for more music. And next up, this is a track from the 2018 album Blue Tattoo that I don't think I've shared before. It's called Over the Hill. And this album was recorded October 2014 through March of 2018. And it was the follow-up to Living with Fiction, and a pretty dark collection of songs. And this song is an interesting one, Over the Hill. Check it out.
Who's gonna help me now? Living when the dreams stop coming. Who's gonna help me now? Living with my dreams not coming true. Never coming true. And never gonna work out. Not coming true. hill and they're coming now. They're coming now. Over the hill. They're coming now. Over the hill.
That was Over the Hill from the 2018 album, Blue Tattoo. The one interesting thing that's happened with me as I've gotten older is I've gotten a little more comfortable with sharing some songs that are maybe some people might be a little embarrassed to share. And I've actually done a couple albums with tracks like that on them where it's like, whoa. But Living with Fiction and Blue Tattoo were those kind of, for the most part, those kind of songs where maybe in the past I might not have shared that stuff, but I did think about it, before it came out. And the other interesting thing about the Blue Tattoo album is I had all these basic tracks that, usually when I have a basic track, I like to hear what a vocal might sound on it. And, I'll do a vocal track with basically subconscious gibberish, And the funny thing was, after riding around and listening to a lot of this subconscious gibberish for a while, a lot of it stuck. And that album has a lot of subconscious gibberish in it. Maybe that should be an album title in the future. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to finish up with a song. I shared a little clip online recently of this, and I commented that I think it's one of the best things I've done, and I still kind of think that way. Way back when, let's see if I can figure, I'm not prepared for this. What album was that on? It was on Vital Signs. In 1986, I released an album. It had a few new songs on it, and it had some re-recordings on it. Maybe it only had one new song. I'm not sure. It had Embrace the Night, which was a new song at the time, I think. But I did a few re-recordings of some of my songs and a couple covers, 3 covers on there. I did Stand By Me, the Ben E. King song. Crazy in Love, which later saw the light of day in a updated version, kind of like Keeper of the Wishing Well that I played prior tonight, this afternoon, and from Pot Shots. But Crazy in Love was done similarly, but it came out on Magic Moon. And this song, The Hawk, El Gavilan, which is a great Chris Christopherson song that I really became aware of via Marianne Faithfull. She did a great version of it for the movie. I want to say the movie is called Trouble in Mind. But just check out her version. My version is based a lot on what she did with this song, but it's a really good song. The other thing I did way back then, and I stuck with it when I redid and updated the song for Magic Moon. It's got a recording of me and my daughter in the studio, mid '80s, I guess. No, '86, I guess. She was probably about 4 years old, trying to record "Row, Row Your Boat." And somehow I thought that might fit in with this song, and I still think it fits in amazingly. Life is but a dream. So check out this song. I love this recording, and I hope you do too. The Hawk, El Gavilan. This is from the album Magic Moon. Check it out.
Now start with Row, Row Your Boat.
I can't.
That's where it starts, right? That's the beginning of the song.
Come on. Come on.
Okay, do Row, Row Your Boat. Start from the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. Whoa.
Let's go.
Mm,
Come on, the tape's running right at the beginning of that song. You can
come on. I have to. Pa. Come on. Let's do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Millie, Millie, life is but a
Okay,
dream.
so now start at Row, Row Your Boat. Now do Row, Row Your Boat.
Whoa, whoa, your boat gently down the stream. Millie, Millie, life is but a dream.
Do it again.
Whoa, whoa, your boat gently down the stream. Millie, Millie, life is but a dream. I did it.
Gotta make your own rules, child. Gotta break your own chain. The dreams that possess you can blossom and bless you or run you insane. The moment is yours, child, to lay on the line. 'Cause the past just don't matter, and tomorrow won't matter. And I don't deserve you. I'm only human, but I swear I will love you just as hard as I can. Storm on the mountain, stars in the sky, running for glory and freedom to fly. Will you remember way down the road that somebody loves you more than you know? somebody loves you more than you know. Will you remember?
And that was The Hawk, El Gavilan, from the album Magic Moon, which came out in December 2019. And the basic track for that was recorded in April of 1987. And then I brought it into Cubase, as I described earlier in the podcast, with Keeper of the Wishing Well, and brought it into Cubase and added to it sometime between June 2018 and November 2019. The cool thing about that track is, there's a guitar solo in there. I think the first one is from like 1987. And the last solo at the end of the song is from, 2018, 2019. So it's really cool. Also, the kind of dramatic vocal at the end, I had a hard time hitting that vocal. So I flew in my vocal from 1987 just for that song, part of the song, and then I sang harmonies to it. So pretty great little part of the song at the end there. So anyway, The Hawk, El Gavilan from Magic Moon. That's going to have to do it. I kept my word. I came back. I did another podcast. I want to send out some hopeful. I just wish what was going on in the Ukraine was not going on. And a lot of the world is outraged. And we hope any day now that ends. And sending all the best to those people, really on both sides. The kids in Russia don't know what the hell's going on either. And it's a lot of them don't. And wish all the best and hope that ends soon. And for you, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.
Playing all the time. It never missed a note.
to Live from the NSYNC Asylum, brought to you by Starfish Real Estate in Vero Beach, Florida, helping buyers and sellers for 11 years now. Visit livinginvero.com for more info, and also visit paulkitchen.com for more music.